Guillotine here, and welcome to my video on Transformers Siege Leader Class Galaxy Upgrade Optimus Prime, or of course, as we all know him, Cybertron Optimus Prime. And this is such an exciting figure, and I will tell you right off the bat, he is so good. I love this. He is my very first version of the Ultra Magnus mold that I have gotten. I do really want the Kingdom one, but he is the very first one I've ever gotten, and he is quite excellent. I can definitely see why people like this mold, because he is quite excellent, and I am super stoked about this because Cybertron was one of my favorite Transformers shows as a kid, if not my absolute favorite, and I really did love that show. And I even had the original Galaxy Upgrade Optimus Prime as a kid, the one with like lights and sounds and everything, and it was so cool. So to have this update, and to be honest, this is probably a much better figure overall. It's definitely a more solid and higher quality figure than that old one. I remember that old one couldn't stand up to save its life, especially if you had the trailer on its back. So yeah, this is probably an upgrade overall as well. And he is just so cool. So much fun to be had with this figure, man. And I gotta tell you, while I was messing with this guy, while I was unboxing this guy and messing with him, I decided to turn on Cybertron and see if I could give it another shot. And I gotta tell you guys, I got through like the first 9 episodes. I gotta tell you guys, it's not a bad show. It's really not. I'm gonna continue it, and when I'm finished with it, I'm gonna make a video on it, but man, it's not a bad show. Especially that opening theme song, man. It's so good. But now, let's talk about Galaxy Upgrade Optimus Prime, because he is just so awesome. So, here he is in the fully powered up mode right here. This is definitely the piece de resistance of the figure, and I mean, I just absolutely love the way he looks. He has all of the main details you would need for this design. Honestly, this is by far the most accurate of all 3 of the modes he has. This is by far the most accurate to the Cybertron TV show. It's not 100%. He doesn't have those like black parts that would like come over and it would lock together, which was really cool. But he does have most of the things. Also, the guns on his legs aren't exactly accurate because they don't, they're not red and they don't have like that silver tint, but he does still have them on the legs, and they can still raise up, and he can still have the leg guns right there. He has the cool little truck parts right there on his arms. He has the truck parts right there, and of course he has the window pec abs that are definitely probably the most iconic and recognizable thing about this design. And of course, well, aside from the giant freaking cannons on his back that swing around, although if you have I found that if you have the guns on him, they're kind of annoying to get swung around, but if you don't have the guns on the legs, they really don't have much issue swinging around like that. And I absolutely love the way that looks, man. It's super cool. And you can, of course, do that on the other side as well. You can take the gun off, and you can swing the arms around just like the guns around just like that, and have the full-on look right there, which I think looks absolutely awesome. And of course, you can plug in the guns. So you have these little handles right here on the guns, and you can, of course, use those and plug them into the hands right there. And there you go. And you can do that on either side, of course. And you can get some really great displaying going on. These are blast effect compatible, so you can put blast effects in them. He, of course, has the wings on his back with the wheels right there. These are on hinges, so you can move them back and forth. The head sculpt is very nice. It does capture it very well. Although in the show, his ears weren't blue. They were black, but not a big complaint. Just pointing it out is all. And I mean, yeah, I think he looks really awesome. I do kind of wish that there wasn't that clearness issue if you have the guns on, because I like having the guns on because it makes them way more accurate to the Cybertron TV show. And I mean, yeah, he just looks absolutely awesome. Now, if you want to, of course, once again, we can swivel, we can to move his guns back to their resting position, just like that. And this gun can actually be removed, and you can just give this to him as his separate gun. And it is quite accurate to the Cybertron Optimus Prime's gun. And this is pretty cool. And this is mainly for when you power him down and you take all the stuff off, but you can still use it in this mode if you want to. And I think that is quite cool. What are other features with this guy? Honestly, I think that might be all there really is to talk about with the robot mode. He is really awesome. Like, he's very sturdy. There's absolutely no looseness going on with the joints whatsoever. Sturdy as can be. Absolutely fantastic. Really good joints. Articulation is good. You got ankle pivot. You got some nice clickety-clackety ratchet joints down here. Knee bend right there, which is quite lovely. If these pieces are in your way, you can move the gun back, fold down the wing, and then you will have more articulation in the legs there if you need it, which is always very, very nice. Good head articulation right there. It's on a ball joint. It can move all around. And I mean, it just looks really awesome. I have been able to get this guy in some pretty awesome poses, and I just think he is so absolutely awesome. For comparison, I'll bring in my Cybertron Jetfire right there so you can see how he looks. And I mean, honestly, it doesn't not work. I mean, it's definitely not perfectly in scale, but you know, Jetfire is shorter, and I think is just a little bit shorter, and that is accurate to the show. And I mean, yeah, I don't think it doesn't not work, honestly. I think that he actually doesn't look too bad next to the old Cybertron toys. So that is very, very cool. By the way, I can't believe I totally forgot that in the show, Jetfire is freaking Australian. And he sounds like this. Yeah. It's pretty great, man. I gotta tell you, I'm really enjoying rewatching Cybertron. It's not a bad show at all. And, I mean, overall, he looks absolutely awesome. So, I think that will do it for the fully super mode, the Optimus Prime super mode. But I have to do this once. Cyber Key power! Except no Cyber Key, just power! And I do kind of like the fact that you can plug this in, which I believe was also the same on the original figure as well, was this piece untabbed and became the gun. And, you know, it was like that in the show too, because the thing with Cybertron that was really interesting about Cybertron is that the characters in the show, they actually like basically were just the toys. They like transformed the exact same way as the toys. They had the Cyberplanet keys. They all worked exactly the same as the toys did, which was a very fun and interesting route to go for the series. And I really am enjoying it right now. Like, the dub might be rough, but it's still pretty damn enjoyable overall. But, yeah, there is the super mode. Okay, I think we can get down to the next mode, and that is going to be our powered down Optimus Prime mode. So what we have to do to get to that is we have to remove his armor here. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to come down to the legs, and I recommend just kind of grabbing the legs right here. Now, this guy's a total parts former, by the way. If you have any version of this Magnus mold, you know that already, but he is a total parts former. He is just parts forming all day, every day. So, you take off the leg pieces right here, and we set them off to the side, or we drop them on the ground, and we set them off to the side like that. And then this piece right here is going to untab from the torso, and then pretty much you're just gonna kind of pop this entire piece off, and it comes right off. And all that gets sit to the side. Just had to pick this up off the ground real quick, but I totally did forget that if you have, in super mode, if you have trouble standing him up, he has an extra little heel support right there that you can flip out, but it's not really necessary whatsoever. I haven't had any issues having him stand up. He hasn't fallen over once, so just pointing that out real quick. And here is this. Now, in order to go from here, we have to, now, in the instructions, they tell you to remove these pieces, and, like, these pieces come off on either side, and these pieces also come off. I'll talk about that more later on, though, because if you leave them on, it's more animation accurate to Transformer Cybertron. So, but I'll bring that up again later on. But come down to the feet here and flip out the freaking heels so he can stand up a little bit better. And now for this part. So this part's pretty darn cool. There's some really interesting engineering with this figure. You want to flip the arm pieces back like that, and then you want to take this piece right here, the crotch piece, fold it down, and then it will actually rotate around, and you don't want to fold it back up yet. You want to actually, on this track here, push this piece forward. So you see it actually goes forward on that track, and then you want to open this piece up, the cab piece here, and then you can flip out the head, just like that, close it back up, just like that. And then you want to take this back piece here and you want to push it up on this track. There's a lot of tracks with this figure, man. And you just want to push this up and it will lock in place at the top there. And then you can push this back once again. So once again, I want you to get a good look at this. You see it's on that track right there, and you push it back, and that finishes that all up, and then just close up the crotch piece right there. And there you have the most animation accurate possible version of the power down mode. And yeah, it doesn't look too bad, although it's not accurate whatsoever, because in this mode in the show, he did still have the window pecs that the super mode has, those window pecs right there. The head sculpt is not accurate, but aside from that, honestly, it's not too terrible. It doesn't look all that bad. For a quick comparison, we'll grab Earthrise Optimus Prime here so you can see how he looks with Earthrise Optimus Prime, so you can see right there. I mean, yeah, I mean, this little guy's about Voyager class size, and it's a little confusing because, you know, this is a leader class figure technically, but, I mean, yeah, he's about a Voyager class size. I mean, the super mode wasn't too much bigger either. I mean, pretty much it was just like, just pretty much have that on there. That's about as bigger as it was, aside from the giant guns that come up over the shoulder. But I mean, it's definitely making up for it. I definitely think this guy does match up to the leader class asking price. And yeah, overall, I mean, it's still pretty cool. And of course, if you want to, you can remove the gun from this piece right here, and you can give it to him as a weapon, just like that. Now, another thing you can do that they do tell you to do with this figure is you can remove these pieces and set them off to the side for now, and you can also remove the truck pieces on the shoulder. And once again, this does make him less animation accurate, but I mean, he's not 100% animation accurate to begin with, so I don't know, if you want to do it and you think it looks better like this, you can. I don't know. I think he looks fine either way. I will definitely not be displaying him in this anyway. He will mostly be displayed in the super mode and the vehicle mode, which is awesome, by the way. But, I mean, yeah, this is definitely the mode I care about the least, but hey, it doesn't look too bad at all. And if you want to store the truck pieces, you can fold them in like that. You just fold in this hinge like that, and then on the back here you can plug it right there, and it will just plug in place just like that. And you can do that on either side, fold that in and plug it in right there, just like Jetfire. So there you go. You can have that going on, and that is what you're going to do for the truck mode as well. So if you want to, if you put him like this, you're pretty much done with him, and you can transform him without parts forming to and from. So if you were to just leave him like this, you wouldn't have to parts form him when you transform, because to transform him into his cab mode, you don't have to take anything off after you put those on. So that is something I figured I would point out real quick. But yeah, that is going to do it for the powered down Optimus Prime. Overall fun. One more thing though, if you want to, you can take his gun out, and you can of course just plug it onto the back for storage right there. So yeah, overall not bad at all. A pretty fun little Optimus Prime, although he is pretty chunky, I must admit he is pretty chunky, but overall not too bad at all. So we will sit him down, you know, we'll put him right here. There we go. Because now we gotta talk about this thing. Alrighty, so we're going to go into vehicle mode now. So first thing you want to do is you want to take this piece, you want to fold this piece in, and you want to rotate the head around, and then fold this piece down just like that. You're gonna get the guns out of the way. You're going to bring this piece up, and you're going to get this piece out, and these pieces, so there's these little pieces here are separate, and you want to push them down, and then this piece is going to flip out like that, and you're going to rotate this forward while rotating these to the front. So these pieces need to be this way, like this, and this piece rotates to the back, and it will peg in place down here, just pegs in place right there, as you can see right there. Now, we're going to take the leg pieces here, and first off, we're going to take the little shoulder pads here, and we're going to slide them in here just like that. So you want to have that little, so you see that little like light detail, sorry, my finger is completely covering it, that little light nubbin right there. Just get that nubbin on that little blue section right there, and just push it into place. That's how I found the easiest way to remember it. And same thing on the other side here. So just get that little light nubbin and get that in there and peg that in place. Now you're going to take the two sections and you're going to peg them together. And just do that. And there you go. Make sure your ankle pivot is not engaged. And there you go. Now you have those pieces stored, and you have that like that. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to bring in this piece, and you're going to take these little pegs right here, and these are going to go into those holes. And you're going to think that they're done just by sliding in there like that, but they're not done yet. You actually have to push them in a little bit more. You have to give them some force here to get them locked in place, because if you don't, this is not going to be stable at all. And There we go. You hear that click. Now it's super stable, as you can see there. That is not coming out. And then we'll get these pieces out of the way, and you want to fold this up, and you can see these ports are gonna get these pieces tabbed in. These leg pieces right here, they're gonna come up, and you're just gonna push it all in place, and it's going to tab and lock in very nicely. And there you have it. There you have the trailer. Now, as far as recreating his battle station cannon mode that he had in the show, you can't not do it. I mean, you can do some kind of fun thing with it if you want to. You can kind of have that going on. I mean, it doesn't look too bad at all, honestly. It's not half bad. I mean, if you want to do that, then you totally can. But obviously, the real reason for this is going to be the trailer for the truck mode. So this is the trailer, and we will now set this off to the side and bring it back in this guy. So once again, you don't have to parts form this guy if you just put those pieces on the back and you just leave them like this. So what you're going to do with him is you're going to fold in the ankles. Although if you have a problem with parts forming, you probably shouldn't be buying this figure. Just saying. Anyway, we're going to take the arm pieces here. We're going to fold them forward, and we're going to bring him back on this track that we did before. So just push that out on the track, and then take this piece, and we're going to slide that back to the bottom. And we're actually just going to, well, first off, we're going to get rid of the head by putting it back into the truck cab. So we'll just open this up, fold that head back in, and bring it back up like that. And then we're going to bring up the arms like this, and then I like to rotate the hands like this. So when you do that, so just basically bring his arms up on a 90 degree and then rotate the hands like that is what I like to do anyway. And then once again on this side, just have that going on like that. And now we can rotate this entire assembly around. And there you have it, starting to look like, you know, we're starting to get somewhere. I love that front profile, man. That is iconic to me. And I believe we are good to connect here. So now we're going to, just to make our lives a little bit easier, I like to bring up the legs and kind of splay them out like this. It's just, I don't know, it's a little difficult. These ratchets are not the most smooth. So I like to do that, and then you want to bring down the crotch piece right there. And now we're going to bring the trailer in, we're going to move those pieces out, and we're going to take this, and another track here, this piece is going to slide right in there, and it's going to guide itself on this track. And first we're going to need to move it all the way up, and that's going to allow us to close everything up here. So we're going to close the crotch piece here, and we're going to close the arms in just like this. And this is why you want to have this all the way up, so you have clearance to plug everything in place just like that. And then we're going to bring in the legs, and they're going to tab in place in a couple sections. There is a tab right there, and that is going to go into a little slot in the leg, and just get that tabbed in right there, and then bring this piece down, and then you're going to tab them in the back. Those two blue pieces are going to tab together just like that, if you didn't fuck it up like I just did just there. And there you go. Now bring this piece out on a hinge, and then push this down on that track, and that is going to get that all good to go. And then you're going to bring this piece down, and you can see right there, that blue piece that we connected together is just going to get slotted in. It's kind of hard to show you here. It's just going to get slotted into that little cavity right there, and it's just going to fit in right there, and there you go. And that locks the trailer on to him just like that. And then finally, the last thing you want to do is you just want to fold in the wings, and they will peg into these little clips on either side. You can see that will connect into that tab, and this is super secure, and this will make the truck mode super duper extremo bonanza floopin' secure. So there we go, and there if we can get it, y'all. You don't just want to let it go, because it's not gonna, you're gonna kind of think it's in there, it's just gonna kind of sloppy thing, but you actually have to give it a little bit of a push in order to actually get it in there and hear that click. And once you've done that, and we'll take the gun here and we will plug that back into its home, although I like to plug it in upside down so it doesn't, if you plug it in upside down, you can actually have it rest flat like that. And ladies and gentlemen, there you have the vehicle mode. And now, it's not 100% accurate to the Cybertron show, but in my opinion, it looks fucking awesome. I absolutely love the way it looks. I seriously do. It's obviously not 100% animation accurate. It doesn't have the window, he doesn't have the windows on the side here, and he doesn't have those two guns folded up in here to fill out all that part, but it still looks awesome, in my opinion. I do absolutely love this. And it is very solid. They did a really good job in connecting all this together. Like, all this shit locks in place super securely. The guns on the back, you can rotate them up and have them pointing forward. They are blast effect compatible, so, you know, have fun with that. You know, play with it till your heart's content. And I mean, just like, what more do you want me to say? I think he looks absolutely awesome. These are obviously still completely posable. You can't, unfortunately, do the flying truck mode from the show. I really, really, really wish you could, but unfortunately, there is nothing you can do about it. You can't, I mean, like, even if you untab the wings here, there's no way to hinge the wings forward, so you can't do the flying truck mode from the show, which I honestly think is a little bit of a missed opportunity here. But I mean, like, all I really would have took in was like a little, like a hinge joint right here to be able to move that down. That would have been so awesome, but it's just something I'm pointing out because it would have been really cool to be able to do the flying truck mode. But he looks absolutely terrific. I love this figure. I really, really do. This is not going to be a figure for everybody. Do keep that in mind. This is only for Cybertron fans. If you do not care about Transformers Cybertron, you're not going to need this figure. Just get the Ultra Magnus. I mean, it's a great mold. You're definitely going to want to have the mold because it's a very cool mold. It does a lot of really fun engineering tricks, like all the tracks it uses, which is very different. You don't usually expect to see tracks with Transformers. So it's really cool that this thing has like 4 different uses of like tracks that you have to move stuff on. And it's very cool. So if you're not a Cybertron fan, I can't really say to get this one. I would probably just say to get one of the Ultra Magnuses. There's, I think, 3 versions of that Ultra Magnus. So I would definitely recommend the mold, just not this figure unless you're like me and you're a huge Cybertron fan. And I mean, I can't, if you are a Cybertron fan, I can't recommend this thing enough. I can't recommend this thing enough. He is so awesome. I have had so much fun with this damn thing. He rolls really well. You can see right there. Rolls absolutely lovely. You can hear that beautiful roll, and it's absolutely great. Once again, it's super secure. This truck mode is absolutely locked together. And it honestly probably locks together better than the original one. I remember the original one would like fall apart if you tried to play with it, and this guy is just solid as a rock, man. So, final thoughts on him is that I absolutely love him. I absolutely love this figure, but he's only for Cybertron fans. If you're not a Cybertron fan, this is definitely not one you're going to need. Just stick with the Ultra Magnus and you'll be happy. But if you are a Cybertron fan, absolutely 100% get this figure. I say he's S tier. I really absolutely love this figure. I am so glad I got him. He is just awesome. I seriously absolutely love him. And if this really was a proof of concept, like people say that this is like Hasbro testing the waters to see if people will buy Unicron Trilogy toys because they're maybe considering doing Unicron Trilogy toys for the next Transformers line after WFC. If that's the case, I cannot wait because I really do like the Unicron Trilogy, especially Cybertron. Cybertron is definitely my favorite show in the Unicron Trilogy. And I would absolutely love to get more figures like this, especially if they put as much love and quality into it as they did with this one. Seriously, super awesome. Oh, you know what? I have to transform Jetfire real quick and compare him. There we go. I mean, I couldn't. There's no way I could have not done this. So there you go. This would make it really cool if we could do the freaking flying truck mode, but still super, super cool overall. So once again, S tier in my opinion. I think he is absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love this figure. I am so glad I got him. He is awesome. In my opinion, he is awesome. I just love him. And that is just my opinion. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of this figure, if you have him or not, or if you've watched this video and you're like, wow, I want that thing now. Even if you don't like Transformers Cybertron, let me know what you think of this guy, because he's kind of blown me away, honestly. I was pretty sure I was gonna love him, but I didn't know I was gonna love him this much. He feels so good. Like, the plastic on this guy feels so good. He feels like such a high quality toy, but yeah. I just love him. So thanks so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider hitting that subscribe button if you'd like to see more of my disgusting face talk about more robots that turn into things. And give me a like if you enjoyed the video. And with that being said, this is DK Guillotine, signing out. All worlds are in danger.